Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Brad, and welcome to Book Report Week 11. We're a day behind this week. Over the weekend, I was super busy, didn't have time to film the video, so we're doing it now on Monday. It should be out later today for you guys, and if you're watching it, obviously it is already out. So not too far behind, but further behind than I would have liked to have been. But anyway, this is a book report where I come check in with you all every week, talk about what I've read, what I'm currently reading, what I'm planning to read next, all that kind of fun stuff. I did finish up 2 books this week that we'll get into and talk about. But first, I wanted to show the book I got in the mail. I talked about it a little bit last week. My local library every year for the past few years at least kind of holds a community book club, a community read along where there's one book chosen and everybody in the community is encouraged to join in and read it throughout the month of April. I've never joined in before because I really wasn't interested in any of the previous books, but this year I was interested, and the book club pick, the community book pick, whatever it is, for April this year is Circe by Madeline Miller. I've never read anything by Madeline Miller. I see this book pop up all the time on people's booktube videos and on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to join in. It sounds really cool. It's got some super cool in papers in there with a map and everything. Honestly, I don't know too much about the story. I know it's dealing with Greek mythology. I think Circe says it was a character from the Odyssey. I don't know if I ever read the Odyssey in school. I probably didn't because I didn't like to read when I was in high school and stuff. I feel like I've seen movies of the Odyssey, and I don't know if anybody remembers the old TV show Wishbone about the little dog that would like travel back in time into different stories. I remember the Wishbone episode of the Odyssey for some odd reason, but whatever. Wishbone was a pretty cool show back in the day, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm gonna be reading Circe in April, so I picked up this book, a hardcover copy on Amazon. I know people love to hate on Amazon. I don't want to pimp Amazon at all, but it was only 13 bucks for a really brand nice new hardcover, so can't fault them too much. But I picked up Circe. I'm excited to read that one. That'll be starting that one in April for the community read along and stuff. So what did I read last week? So last week I was still working on Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward. I finished this one up, and overall I thought it was good. I don't think I liked it as much as Sing Unburied Sing, one of her other books. It's been a long time since I've read that one. I think the writing in here is really excellent. I really dug the characters and the character development and all the struggles and relationships and all the things they're going through. But I kind of felt like I was misled from the synopsis on the back of the book. Like the very first sentence in the synopsis is, they heard it on the radio. A hurricane is coming, threatened the town of Salvage. I'm probably not saying that right. Mississippi. And this is about Hurricane Katrina. So I thought the whole book, like maybe a couple chapters into it, would be when the hurricane would strike, and then we're dealing with trying to survive the hurricane, and then all the aftermath and all the destruction of that, which does happen, but it doesn't happen till like the very end of the book. So I felt like I was misled. I thought the whole book was going to be about that, but that doesn't really happen till the very end. Like I said, I did enjoy the characters. I felt like a lot of it was dealing with our main character. Her name is Esh, I believe. Esch is how it's spelled. We're dealing with her. I think she's 15. She becomes pregnant, so we're dealing with her dealing with that. The father isn't really going to be involved, it doesn't seem like. Her mother died during childbirth, and so she's kind of dealing with, the emotional trauma from that still. And we're also dealing with her brothers and what they're going through. Junior, her little brother, is the one who the mom died while having Junior, so we're dealing with him. Randall, he's wanting to be a basketball star, but he doesn't have money to go to basketball camp, so he's worried about this upcoming basketball game. And then Skeeta, I feel like we really focus on Skeeta a lot. He's got a pit bull named China, and he's really worried about, he fights her in dog fights, but she's had a litter of puppies. He's trying to keep them alive so they can sell them for money and stuff. I felt like a lot of the book focused on Skeeta and the dog China, way more so than I was expecting. It does mention them on the back, but I thought the main thing was going to be about the hurricane and dealing with Katrina and stuff. And there's kind of the build up to it, getting ready for it, trying to get food, boarding up the windows, but it all doesn't really strike until the very end. And once it strikes, it's, super engrossing and tense and everything, them trying to survive the hurricane. But again, that didn't happen until like the very end of the book. and I thought the whole thing was kind of going to be about that. But overall, I did enjoy it. Her writing is really excellent. She's got a non-fiction book called The Men We Reap, which I would like to read that one. And I think she's got another one that says Where the Lion Bleeds. I don't know what that one is about, but I have enjoyed her writing, this one and Sing Unburied Sing. So she is another author I would like to check out more from. So I finished up that one, which I'd started last week. And then I'm also currently working on audiobook before I forget. The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. The version I'm listening to is narrated by Andy Serkis. I'm like right at the halfway point, end of book 1, going into book 2. And the end of book 1 is where they're on Weathertop and Frodo gets stabbed by one of the riders in black. And that's kind of where I have left off. I'm really enjoying the audiobook experience for this one. Andy Serkis has done a great job narrating the story. I'm not really going to go to the plot. I'm sure everyone knows what the plot is. But he's done a great job, all the voices for all the different characters and stuff. And I've really enjoyed, I don't want to say the additions to it because it's stuff that is in the original, but compared to the movie, there's lots of stuff that they cut out of the movie that is in the book. And I've really enjoyed all the stuff that didn't make it into the movie and how it's forming the characters and the story and things in the book. Tom Bombadil being a great example. I really like his character in the book. He's not in the movie at all. And it feels like, as long as the movies are, they're like 3.5 hours each, like the extended versions. I love the movies. I'm not knocking the movies at all. I feel like the story in the book has just more time to breathe and has a better pace than the movies do. They felt a little quick. But I'm enjoying that experience. And when that's done, I do want to go ahead and continue on with The Two Towers and Return of the King, also narrated by Andy Serkis. I'm really enjoying that experience. I said it last week. I have read Fellowship of the Ring before. It's been many years ago. And if it's stuff that's not in the movies, I'm not remembering any of the stuff that is in the book only. So it feels like I have never read it before. Even though I do remember reading it, I may as well not have because I don't remember any of the stuff that didn't make it into the movies. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that experience and looking forward to continuing on with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And then another book I finished, or the other book I finished this week, was one I wasn't planning to read. I just picked it up off of my book cart back there and dove into it and was utterly enthralled by it. It captured my attention and I had a blast with this one. This is The Wager by David Grann. This is a tale of shipwreck, mutiny, and murder. This is a nonfiction book. I bought this recently in a book haul. I wasn't planning to read it anytime soon. I just picked it up on a whim and, like I said, was sucked into the story. This reads like a book of fiction. It doesn't read like a nonfiction kind of textbook you think of normally with just a bunch of facts and stuff. It reads like a fiction story where feels like a narrative tale, even though it is all based on true events and things that happened. I'd never heard of The Wager before. I didn't know of the story behind it, but it sounded like a terrible, terrible time. This was in 1742, it says, and this was part of the War of Jenkin's Ear, I believe, if I remember correctly. And this group of ships from Britain was going to sail down underneath Cape Horn in South America to come across on the other side, the Pacific side, to try to capture the Spanish galleon. And things did not go so well for the crew of not only The Wager, but the whole expedition as a whole. And for me, I get really super motion sick, car sick, boat sick, whatever you want to call it. And I cannot imagine, I feel like the ship wrecking and being stranded on the beach would be the least worst part of it for me. Just the ship rolling, but it talks about, the waves were so bad, like the whole ship would roll over and the sails would actually touch the water. And that's how far it was rolling over. Like I would just die from puking my guts out. I'd be dead from just being sick. That would be absolutely terrible. But this is a really, like I said, compelling story. It was really interesting learning about all this stuff. There's some cool pictures and artwork that is in here as well about Wager Island where they crash and the boats and everything. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the poet Lord Byron. I think it's his great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather was a member of the crew of The Wager, which is kind of cool. And there's little pieces. He puts in here little pieces of poetry from Lord Byron that you can tell are inspired by what his great-grandfather went through. And another cool thing about it is there's like stuff in quotes throughout the book, and all the stuff in quotes are things that people from the shipwreck really, their real thoughts and feelings as they logged them in like their journals or diaries and stuff. So that was cool as well to kind of get these thoughts and feelings of what these people are going through from over 300 years ago based on what they had written in their diaries and logbooks and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. Highly recommend this one, The Wager by David Grann. I definitely want to read all of his stuff. I don't know how many other books he has, but I have read Killers of the Flower Moon. I do want to pick up The Lost City of Z, I believe is his other popular one. Just excellent storytelling. So if you're into nonfiction stuff and want it kind of told in this narrative flow, I definitely recommend this one. I really, really enjoyed The Wager. And that's got me kind of in a nonfiction mood. I really want to read some more nonfiction stuff. I don't have any other nonfiction stuff here, but I have been looking into some of Eric Larson's books because I think I'd really like his stuff. So that might be my next nonfiction route, picking up some Eric Larson stuff. But if any of you all watching have any nonfiction recommendations, whether it's something historical like this or just any nonfiction in general, let me know what your recommendations down. Let me know what your recommendations are down in the comments. It's Monday. It's hard to talk because I'd really like to check out some more nonfiction this year. So I finished that up as well. And then that's all I'm currently reading. Still listening to the audiobook of Fellowship of the Ring. I don't have any other books going at the moment, but I've got a little small stack here of books that I might dive into next. I'll go through them quickly. I've talked about this one the last 2 weeks, I think. The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. This one's still on my radar. Might dive into this one. And I've got some other ones I might dive into as well. I bought this book in the book haul with The Wager, and everyone in the comments when I posted that video was all talking about how awesome this book is. And that is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I don't know anything about it. I'd go into it blind. I'm assuming it has to do with space. There's an astronaut on the cover. Other than that, I don't know anything about it. So as much as people hype this book up in the comments the other day, I might dive into that one. And then also I wanted to read a lot of Michael Crichton this year. So I've got 2 Michael Crichton books I might dive into next. The first one is The Great Train Robbery. And the other one, finishing up the Jurassic Park duology, I might dive into The Lost World. I finished up Jurassic Park early in the year, I think January, February. I think January I read Jurassic Park and want to read The Lost World as well. So those are some upcoming book possibilities I might be diving into next. And I think that's all I've got for you guys today. So I appreciate you hanging out, spending your time with me. Again, my name is Brad, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.